Hey, everybody. I want to welcome you back to Success Secrets Revealed with your host, Ronald Couming. It's a live stream show. I want to talk to you a little bit about what the show's about, how we create it, introduce our sponsors. Then I'm going to bring on our guest today. And you want to stay tuned for this because we have Brent Tyler Hoffmann with us. And he is a resilient expert, spiritual health coach, musician. I mean, wait till you hear about all the stuff that he is and has done. He is a true testament to being resilient and having that type of power. But before we get to that, I want to tell you that Success Secrets Revealed was developed. I have a radio show called Internet Marketing Business Solutions. It's every week at 1 o'clock from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it's literally, we have 1.7 million reach. But because of COVID, the radio station isn't manning the station, so they're only running reruns. So I decided to create this show so I could turn around and still have the guest experts come on, and we can help you people, and then I can take out the audio and send it to the radio station, and they can push it out to them. But the whole goal is to serve, not sell. We're giving you free information here. We might give you a free offer that you can take advantage of. But so that's a little bit of a backdrop. And Success Secrets Revealed is like, we're going to bring on subject matter experts, people who have been there and done that. And there is a massive difference between seeking advice and seeking counsel. When you seek advice, you're just asking people randomly, and they may or may not have done whatever it is you want to do. And so it's their opinion. I mean, what do they really know about it? When you're speaking, when you're seeking counsel and you're working with a mentor or whatever the case may be, these people have already done that and they've already been there. So they have a much better idea of what it's going to do and what is going to be needed to help you achieve the success you seek. So that's the purpose of the show. And anyhow, our sponsor is me and my company, RCS Online Solutions. We're a digital marketing company based out of Boston, literally clients around the globe, including other digital marketing companies that hire us to do their work as white label, and they just tell everybody they're doing it. And so what we do is we help business owners and entrepreneurs basically attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients. At the end of the day, you can have the best service, the best product, the best websites, the best funnels, the best videos. If people can't find you, they can't even consider you, never mind hire you. So that's what we do. We get you right in front of whoever you need to be in front of. So that is a long conversation leading you into the best part of our show, and that's our guests, right? That's what it's all about, delivering value. So our guest today, as I mentioned earlier, is Brent Tyler Hoffmann, and I'm going to read his portions of his bio now. Brent Tyler Hoffmann is a resilience expert, spiritual wealth coach, musical artist, producer, musician, hypnotist, actor, TV host, philanthropist, and a humanitarian. He has trained with Jim Rohn, Les Brown, Denis Waitley, Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Tim Zimmerman of SM3 Success, and JT Foxx, the world's #1 wealth coach. That's just to name a few. He is highly trained in the area of personal development, social dynamics, NLP, and all-around human psychology. He has trained, advised, and inspired teachers, CEOs, entrepreneurs, celebrities, and everybody in between. Has had success in all areas of life. With all of his training and what he has learned from these phenomenal experts, he has gone on to also educate, motivate, and inspire others to overcome hardships and release deep, crippling, limiting beliefs, which allow them to then choose who they want to be. So help me welcome Brenton Tyler Hoffmann. Yay!
Hello, everyone. How are you?
How are you? Excellent. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on, Ron.
Good stuff. I just read your bio, and like I mentioned to you earlier, your bio is rather lengthy, and it's extremely impressive. I mean, all the things you've done. You're also, you're an author, and you're a 2-time best-selling author. So there's a whole lot more to you than that just the eye. I've talked for almost 5 minutes straight. So I'd love our listeners to learn a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I've done a lot of stuff. So I think that's been more crippling in a way than helpful. I think it's important to hone in on one specific skill and really put all your focus and attention and love on it. But again, it's like kids, it's like loving them all equally or the same, So that's how it's been on my journey to, dabbling in different things here and there. And I can't see you anymore. I can only see myself.
Yeah, that's designed that way because we are doing the talking, right? So I wanted people to focus.
Oh, okay. Got it. The reason why I was saying that is because there were some technical issues when I was setting up, and then even when I was talking to you, the screen was cutting in and out, and there was interference. So I just wanted to make sure everything was all right there. But back to what I was saying. So yeah, I've done a lot of different things. I've dabbled in magic and all kinds of things. Music, musician, play guitar, played the piano, all self-taught. Then I got into hip hop and became a hip hop recording artist, and was in this hip hop group called Lost Theory. Performed at the House of Blues Main Stage Hollywood. Did a lot of red carpet events. Got involved in charities. And the career just went that way, and then I learned a lot about PR and getting myself out there and getting exposure and getting noticed by people.
That's excellent, and that kind of like brings us around. You also have had tremendous, you even overcome like 4 life-threatening illnesses. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, probably. Well, there was more, but I didn't want to overwhelm. But yes. The major ones were the gangrenous appendicitis and peritonitis. That was pretty serious stuff. I went septic shock, and literally pretty much was on the verge of death. And the doctors said it was an absolute miracle that the percentages were so, the odds were so supposedly impossible that they had no idea how I was even able to survive it. Excuse me. And that was just the gangrenous appendicitis and peritonitis. And then there was the car accident in 1998, my story, where I shattered my C6 vertebrae. I was told I would never walk again. And miraculously 12 hours later, I walked away, and the doctors were scratching their heads like, how's that even possible? I mean, it's a permanent injury we're looking at here,
Yep. Go ahead, Brent. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Interference. It happens in all different kinds of ways. But yeah, no, those were pretty serious stuff. The car accident, shattered my C6 vertebrae, was paralyzed. 1998 Thanksgiving Day was with my family on the 405 freeway, and my whole world went black. And before I knew it, I was in the hospital attached to an IV and a breathing machine. The doctors told me I would never walk again, and 12 hours later, I miraculously walked away. So
in 12 hours. Now, Brenton, I mean, a lot of what you've already talked about, and I'm going to kind of let you take over in a second here. But I mean, a lot of this stuff, I mean, people can't even comprehend it, and you've survived and thrived. I mean, mentally, emotionally. I mean, there are some habits, there are some things that people can do that can help them, I assume. But I mean, what was it that other people would, I'm not going to say have used these things as excuses to not, but they might not have bounced back, as you have. So what are some things that people can do to learn from these? And please feel free to tell us more about what you went through, where you're at now, and then that bridge. It's like an epiphany bridge. How did you
Sure.
get from where you were to where you are now?
How much time we got? See, that's why my bio is so long, is because I've pretty much experienced, out of everyone that I personally know and that I've talked to, my story, there's so much involved. There's so much detail. I've lived lifetimes in one lifetime and I'm still alive. And, you know, I'm going to be 40 years old August 1st, you know what I'm saying? So that's right around the corner. And so when I look back at my life, all the things that I've gone through and that I've endured and experienced and overcome, you know, they say statistically, most people don't go through that kind of stuff, you know, that soon in life. I mean, there are people, I'm not claiming or believing that I'm the only one. I love hearing other people's stories that I can relate to and find connectivity, you know, in relation to each other's stories. I think that's beautiful. But I've been told by the people that I've known in my life and friends and just on my journey, people say, Brenton, I've never met anybody like you. And I've never met anybody who's experienced like the story that you've gone through, and that your story is absolutely phenomenal. It's like a Hollywood movie, you know?
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, brother, right? Some of it is kind of like a horror movie, but you know what I mean? Well, but you know how it take you on that hero's journey through these movies, right? You know, but what you've done and what you've experienced, you know, I mean, it's horrific, you know what I mean? But the at the end, you've persevered and you've come out and you're shining and you're contributing and you're helping people and you're having success in your own life, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. So that's what I love about this show. We bring on people like you who have just, you know, like Les Brown says, when you get knocked down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Get up. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I love it. Yeah,
yeah.
and you also talked, you said you've trained with Jim Rohn, and that's huge. I love Jim Rohn. I listen to him and Les Brown almost every day. It's how I start my day, the first like 20, 30 minutes. And Jim Rohn is talking about, you know, what happens to us pretty much happens to everybody. Now, in your case, you've had multiple of these scenarios, but, you know, other people have had things happen to them where the exact thing that happened might be different, but the mental and emotional and the feelings are the same, right? So when that's said and done, how they use that they can allow it to, you know, disable them or enable them. You have used it, you know, to enable you to a whole nother level. So I'm going to put you on the screen. If you could just tell us a little bit about how, you know, you've done that. What was it about you that allowed you? I mean, obviously, you know, we've got to survive, right? You know, until life is over, you know, we're taking our next breath, right? But to go from to thrive and not survive is, you know, what you've done. And I'd love to hear more about how.
Sure. So great question. So the how is, it goes in so many different variations, because, you know, like when somebody has a story, they'll have maybe one or two good points where they, you know, they had a horrific event in their life, or family member died, or drug overdose, or, you know, you hear there's a lot of interesting stories out there. And then they have like that epiphany, like you were talking about, like that hero's journey, that wake up call, where they're going to change their life around, and they're going to, you know, flip it, and they're going to do great things, and they're going to help people succeed and all that stuff. And Ron, you know what? I met you at ServX many years ago at Manny Lopez's event, and heard you speak, and your story is phenomenal too, man. You know what I'm saying? For anybody who's heard, Ron has an amazing story. He's been through a lot of horrific hardships and challenges, and he's overcome, and he's a true resilient walking miracle warrior such as myself. So I definitely want to, you know, give you praise there, and recognition and realization that it's not easy to overcome those kind of things. I mean, you've had a pretty amazing life overcoming, and it's all how we look at it, right? It's all a matter of perception. So we can look at those things as that hinder us in our lives, and we can look at those our losses, or we can literally look at those as gains. And when I look at my life back in retrospect of the things that I've overcome and endured, and the challenges that I faced, and you know, multiple near-death experiences, and being a mental anomaly and medical anomaly and all these crazy things, I look at it like they're actually wins. Because when you can survive and literally overcome things that where they pronounce you dead or where they tell you it's humanly impossible to overcome, and you're like, watch me get through this, that's a win. So when I look back at my life, there was a time when I was stuck in a rotation of losses where I was like, man, I just took another loss. Oh, that was a loss. But all the work that I've done on myself with, my coach, Tim Zimmerman, SM3 Success out in Las Vegas, I learned to look at things from a completely different angle. Instead of losses, looking at them more along the lines of gains, that everything happened. It was beautifully manifested. It was supposed to happen exactly the way it did. Call it a beautiful tragedy,
Yeah. And, but again, it comes down to how you perceive it, so it's
Correct.
like how you perceive.
Perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perception. You can see it as something that, happened to me, or you can see it as something that happened for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony talks about that. Yeah. Tony Robbins. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what you talked about earlier was that conception, that knowledge, right? Natalie Sushi was on the show not too long ago, and I love how she puts it. She puts it as like that cocoon moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It defines you. I mean, it's like when you kind of like have that rebirth. You go in, you're a caterpillar, you become a cocoon, you come out, you're a butterfly, and you fly, right? So,
exactly.
So yeah. So I love that. You know what I mean? So go on, tell us more.
Sure. So where would you like me? I'm trying to remember where we were at. In terms of perspective, perception.
Yeah.
So, they say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that is true. But I think that it goes deeper than that, and I know it goes deeper than that. The truth is that perception is in the eyes of the beholder, right? So everything is perception, everything is interpretation. What you perceive, what you interpret, shapes your world and reality, regardless if it's true or not true, because we create truth to be truth, what it is, according to what we believe that it is, based on our levels of conditioning. So if anybody tells you something, if somebody, family member, friend, loved one, whatever, says that's not true, what they're really saying is, from my vantage point and my perception, what you're saying is not resonating with my level of belief, so therefore it's not true.
Nice. I love it. That kind of like brings it home, makes it a little bit clearer. But so go on, tell us a little bit more. Now, what are you doing now? I mean, you've gone through all this stuff and we've pretty much covered it. And we can certainly go back because we can never cover it fully, but we don't need to stay stuck in the negative. I like to move towards, what are you doing now and how did you do it? So what are you doing now? How are you helping people now?
Well, as of now, like right now as we speak, I like to say, I've been in a meditation kind of state. I've been, really taking this time, and when they tell us to go in or stay in, or stay home or whatever, I go in, like go inward, and do a lot of meditation, a lot of, praying and just, connecting to God and just really taking that time, because I think it's really easy to fall off track and to forget to do those things. And those simple disciplines are what allow us to, become stronger in our faith and allow us to be able to be more resilient in our lives. So as of right now, I'm really just taking it easy and doing those things and just being, I've just been mainly and mostly staying home. But as of to answer your question, after everything that's happened to me, like I said, there's been a lot of dips, right? So there's a lot of uphill, successes and downhill perceivable losses, or whatever you want to call them. And so I have, I've obviously have a coaching and consulting company, Harmonic Consulting. I've helped a lot of people succeed and overcome challenges. Most of my work over the years was given away in philanthropy and humanitarianism. So I was just, I was for the longest time, I was helping people that were in dire need and were in situations where they could not, they didn't have any money, or they were genuinely and sincerely struggling. And I was just really in a giving state, just in serving constantly. And I think that really helped me to become more successful, because it allowed me to really brand myself and to really build myself. And, when I built my company, I did everything for free because I really wanted to build that credibility. And a lot of people, take that for granted. It takes years to build credibility for people to trust you and to know who you are.
That's all true, and I love it. There's most of the people who are listening here today are business owners, entrepreneurs, or those who would like to be, right? That's what we kind of cater to. Obviously, there's anybody's welcome to listen and learn. But so if you could give 3 tips to somebody who was either looking to start or, grow or launch or, scale their business, what would be 3 tips that you could give business owners or entrepreneurs?
Sure. Just like business owners that are just starting off.
It could be a business owner that's just starting off, a business owner that has been in business for, let's say, 12 to 18 years. He's had some success and he wants to scale. Somebody who's been in business for 5 years and wants to scale from there. And the tips can be, one or more, the tips can apply to one or more of those categories. But those are the basic.
Okay. So we'll start with the first one. So for somebody who's just getting into business that aspires to want to be an entrepreneur or succeed in that area, I would say what I just said, to really put yourself out there and to, work for free at first, and build that credibility, personal credibility, brand awareness, brand credibility, and then really help people and get massive results. You know what I'm saying? And get testimonials, very powerful, genuine testimonials from people, video or written or both. And you just build from there. If you know what I'm talking about, Ron. And then people, they see that you've obviously are the real deal. You walk the walk, you talk, you match the walking with the talking. You've helped these people. And then once you build that credibility, then people will see that. Then you can raise your value, and then you actually see more value in yourself. Unless you get stuck in a charity trap, which is not always a good thing. If you're too stuck in a charity, there has to be a balance between charitable giving and also receiving financially as well. So that's for the first person. For a business owner who's been in business for 5 years, 18 years, whatever, I would say don't do it yourself. No matter how confident you think you are, no matter how good you are at something, I don't care, delegate it. I learned that years ago, but I heard it again reintroduced in my life with JT Foxx, world's #1 wealth coach. It's all about delegating, because you free up your time, and when you have more time, then you have more freedom, and you're able to do the things that you love to do. So it's important to constantly be outsourcing or delegating your lifestyle, and even the things you're good at, delegate, and even the things the things that you're not good at, you should definitely delegate, and then even the things that you're good at, also delegate. So the more you're delegating, obviously the more successful you'll be, but that requires a lot of financial capital. So for people who are very successful financially and have positioned themselves properly, and then they're liquid for that, then they're able to delegate properly. Now for people who don't have a lot of money starting out, they can delegate. They could do different things, right? So they could if they don't have the money, they could barter and trade. There's ways around it. And even if you have the money and you want to put it in somewhere else, you can still barter and trade. There's so many different ways there's so many different ways of financial capital. It's not just money.
I love it. And what you're talking about, I tell my clients all the time, learn it, do it, delegate it. Learn it to the point that you know what you need to do, and do it so you get a fundamental understanding of how it is, but then you have to delegate it. And because you have to delegate it, but because it frees you up. If you're doing something that takes 10 hours of your time, say you're creating a logo, whatever you create is going to pale in comparison to somebody who specializes in that. They'll do it for $100, $75, $150, whatever it is. But in that 10 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is, you could have gone out and made 20 calls. And in those 20 calls, you know, let's say your program is, you know, the lifetime value of your client is $5,000 and you close 3. There's $15,000 that you made, but, you know, or, you know, in your mind, you know, you saved 150 because you didn't pay somebody to create the logo, but you really lost 15,000 because of the lost opportunity. So I love what you're talking about. I mean, people,
automation. Yeah, automation, delegation. If you want to break it down to 2 things, I think the more you automate your life and the more you delegate it, that really are the 2 keys to massive success.
Yeah, I mean, people are just they're just stuck in such a pick it up, put it down mode. They just don't get it, man. And then when you try to talk to them, they look at you like you got 3 heads or you're insulting them. So you really, yeah,
that's true.
I can't even tell you how many, you know, I have my sister, my brother Tom. I have, you know, a couple of people who've actually unfriended me. I mean, this stuff is crazy.
Yeah. Well, also too, I wanted to let you know too, change up the subject a little bit, but I'll get back on it in a moment. In terms of what I do, also, I've been doing a lot of research. So market research and list compilation, a little bit of lead generation, but mainly I learned a technique many years ago in a secret private marketing group, right? That a lot of people don't know about. And it was a very overlooked thing, but I was looking into misspelled keywords at the time, and then I forgot about it, and I looked at it and learned some strategies about, you know, people who have domains that forget to buy the .com or the .org or the .net, and then if you see that, you purchase them because then you could actually get a percentage of their traffic over to you. And it's a fair game in that marketing world, or when it comes to domains, because, you know, that's why they ask you, do you want to buy the .net or the .org? And a lot of times you should buy all those. But anyway, so I was looking into that, stopped it for a while, then opened up some books, looked into it again, you know, my notes that I wrote down, and started practicing these strategies, you know, a couple years ago, about 2 years ago, and found some domains, some misspelled keywords that nobody had, and they're parked right now, and they get millions. I kid you not, they get millions of monthly targeted visitors every month.
Well, and that is great. Now, I love how you talked about that, and we've mentioned this before. So
yes, we talked about that.
Yeah, this is you know, this is something that people need to look at and definitely understand. But tell me, let's say they get to a point where they understand it, or even if they don't understand it, just, you know, get a a high level view of it. How can they monetize that? What's the bottom line?
Sure, great question. So, and I reached out to you. We talked about this as well too. I know you've been busy, and I've shared this with you know, a few people. You know, I think that it's hard to see how it is unless you can actually see like the real numbers in real time in front of you, and I could provide that and show that to people. But how you monetize it is you find somebody. Again, remember we talked about automation and delegation, right? So if we automate the process see, I'm no expert in building websites. I can build a website. I built my own website. I could do a lot of different things, but it's time consuming. So if I find somebody who's a wizard, right, that I'm not, then they build the website, and I find an SEO wizard such as yourself, Ron, then you monetize it. How do you monetize it? Well, it's simple. If you build a Walmart in the desert and you don't have any advertising or any marketing, nobody sees that Walmart, correct? Simple. Yep. But if you do advertising properly and marketing properly, and the SEO is good and people know where that's at, and you build a map for it, then all that traffic or percentage of that traffic goes to that Walmart. Well, it's the same thing with those domains. I own these domains. They get millions of monthly targeted visitors every month to the keywords. So I purchased the domain with those keywords. That's why keyword research is so important. I think people underestimate the power in keyword research. So I was doing that for a while, dabbling in a lot of different things, and I looked into that. And I have, I'm the owner of misspelled keywords that are huge. I mean, I own Eminem.com, the artist Eminem. I own the misspelling of that. I own, yourtubevideo.com. I own that. It gets like, I forgot last time I checked, it gets like 11 something million monthly targeted visitors. I own, I really did my research, consulting.com, the big consulting.com company. I own the misspelling keyword to that, because I did my research, you know what I mean? So there's ways to monetize that, where you could purchase the domain or you could sell it to somebody, or you could build websites and get a percentage of that traffic.
I love it. And, it's all about being creative and innovative. If you don't make your own products obsolete, somebody else will. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And right now we're going through this whole COVID thing, whether or not you agree with what's going on. I certainly don't. I think the response is massive overkill. But forget about personal feelings. The last time we had a major correction, so to speak, was 2008, 2009. And but out of that came like Lyft, Uber. Out of that came Airbnb, and literally dozens of other ideas and concepts that people used to just propel themselves to success. So, you got to be innovative. So I love what you're talking about, and in learning different ways. So you get traffic coming there, but are people actually purchasing things? I mean, you're getting people there. So I assume, let's say you have a website that is, Target, or, Target near me, or whatever the case may be. And if you can create some type of affiliate program with them, and then somebody clicks on, batteries or shampoo products or whatever it is, and then it links through to their site, you're going to get a commission on every product. And if you literally have 3, 4, 5, 10, 100,000 people a month going through there, even if you're only getting 2 or 3%, I mean, you're making, tens of thousands a month potentially.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. Yeah, so you can do it from an affiliate standpoint. You could actually do it as build the websites yourself, which we talked about, and have have the SEO involved and have the website built and do it that way. And then it really, you could do a little bit of both. You could do one or the other. It really is the possibilities is endless, and it's a very overlooked thing. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are, when they do their keyword research, they're looking at things that actually are spelled correctly. You know what I mean? And so I think people forget that people genuinely misspell things, or they accidentally misspell things. They blame their chubby fingers for getting in the way when it has nothing to do with their chubby fingers. But anyways, so that's something that I also do amongst everything else. And so I have these domains parked, and I'm just looking for, life is a conceptual opportunity. And JT Foxx talks about how games are not won off of home runs, but off singles and doubles. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the big games in life. And so
I love it. I mean, you've talked about how people can overcome, I mean, what you've gone through all these different medical things and your business things is, like I said, it's the makings of a horror movie, never mind a drama or a best-selling movie, certainly not a Hallmark, but you've overcome that. You've also overcome several business, to me, a business never fails. You You just figure out what doesn't work, right? And and then you move
Sure.
forward. You try it, test it, and tweak it, right? So it's all a matter of, really, it comes down to a matter of perception. Am I correct? And
yeah, exactly. Right back to perception. It's all about perception. Like I said, you can look at things as losses, or you can choose your losses as gains, or you can look at your gains as, I mean, it's all how you perceive it, really. And there will be losses in life, like serious losses. You will. I tell people that I meet, like if they say, "Oh, I can't relate to your story. I've never gone through something like that." And I say, "Well, you know what? One day you might, you know, and it's up to you to decide how you want to perceive it."
I love it. In closing, is there
Sure.
anything you would like to say or offer people?
Yeah, I like to give everyone 5 steps. Write this down. So in order to overcome anything, to get through anything, and be resilient, for one, you want to have faith. Faith is the cornerstone. It's what puts everything together. Without faith, nothing happens. I think everybody has faith. I think even doubters have faith. I know that sounds weird. You're like, wait a second, Brenton. Doubters have faith? Yeah, it's called negative charged faith. But everything is faith. Does that make sense? So it starts with faith. Faith. If you're able to have faith, then 2 is that leads you to forgiveness. And if you could forgive yourself and you could forgive others for what they perceivably have done you wrong, again, that word perception. If you could perceive them what they've done wrong to you, and you could forgive them, then you could be more grateful in your life, where you actually have gratitude. Now you step into gratitude, you're grateful. And when you have that gratitude, then and only then are you more likely to accept the situation that appears bad, makes sense, or things that may appear wrong in your life. You just accept things as is, and being more accepting leads you to the final, which is peace. The 5th piece of the puzzle, which is peace, which allows you to have more peace in your life, which you are more likely to maintain and have more strength, which actually allows you to be more resilient. So without faith, there isn't forgiveness. Without forgiveness, there isn't gratitude. Without gratitude, there isn't acceptance. And without acceptance, there isn't peace. And what is most people trying to do in life? They're trying to get to that 5th piece, peace. But you can't have peace without faith, because faith is the cornerstone that makes all the pieces come together.
Wow. I love it. I love it. Now, tell us how people can, I mean, that to me is, it's just so right on. I mean, it kind of like stunned me for a second there. But
it's in my book too that I've been writing and waiting. Everything has been a long, drawn out process, but things are happening. You know what I mean? Like I was just featured in Influential People magazine. I don't know if you saw that, I wrote that in, but got it actually right behind me right here. Can everybody see it? There.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, who's that guy, right? Yeah. So I was featured on the cover of Influential People magazine, considered to be one of the top influential, resilient experts in the world. So that was a huge honor. And I was featured in JT Foxx's Success Stories Results Don't Lie. I was featured in that, overcoming with my life story and resilience and everything. So I'm honored to be a part of that, as well as many other successful people. And I was in Eric Zuley's book, The Influence Effect. And, and so are you. You're in that book as well, too. And we don't even know. I mean, they said it was out and then it hasn't come out yet. We don't really know what's going on with that. It's a big mystery to us. But
I love it. I was the online marketing superhero of the year. I got the award.
Yes.
I've gotten so many awards and so many articles and stuff for
Resilient Soldier of the Year award. Yeah, we're both winners.
Yeah. Exactly. And I love it. But what's so funny is when we got up on the stage, there was literally 500-600 people in the audience, but it was like right when they were passing out something. So everybody was focused on the waiter or the waitress. No, I ordered this. No, I ordered that. Right. So it was like, oh my God.
I know it was chaos. It was just so crazy. Yeah, I remember that.
But he put on an amazing event. And what I love about these type of events, and I kind of go back to it, and I'm not, we are who we are, and we do what we do, but we think differently, we feel differently, and it's not to say that anyone is better than anyone else.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's like when I go down this road, I have to put that disclaimer in because some people say, "Oh, you're putting us down" or something. I'm not. It's just like people think and feel and act differently, and as a result, they get different results. So
People get offended not by what you say, but what doesn't match their cognitive bias or cognitive dissonance. That's what it is. They get upset because it's not a match to their belief system.
yeah, and somehow you're insulting them. But we literally, you're like 3 or 5% of the population that wants to be an entrepreneur, that wants to try, that wants to do things. And, we fail more often than we succeed, but it's never a failure. It's always a learning lesson. If it's a failure, you quit, you go get a job at, McDonald's or something, right?
Yeah.
But, or somewhere else. And even if you're making 10 times the money you make at McDonald's, at the end of the day, so what, right? But because it's never about the money, it's always about the service, right? You serve,
Well, yes,
you sell, you serve.
exactly.
Yeah, you got to serve people at a higher level. They know, they can feel your authenticity. If you're just in it for the money, you know what I mean? There's so many
It's a
shallow.
balance. It's a perfect balancing act, I call it. And they say in life, I've heard people say balance is bogus, yin and the yang, all that stuff. But really, I think what happens is us human beings have a tendency to live in extremes. We either do something too much of something or too little of something. Once we receive something or manifest something, we are not happy, and then we want to give it away or sell it, and then we end up getting the upgraded version of the very thing that we gave away. I mean, we're constantly contradicting ourselves. We're constantly living in this repetitive cycle of incongruence. And I shared this with I've done many interviews and podcasts, radio shows, and all that stuff. And I'm trying to remember the actual interview that I was on, but it was Men of the Future. I believe was the title is what it was called, and it was about gender dynamics with men and women and how we think or whatever. And Miss Crawford, I can't think of her first name right now for some reason, and I'm just drawing a blank. But she had a great interview.
Joan Crawford?
No, not Joan Crawford. I have her book here. Give me a moment. I'm drawing a blank. It's anyways, yeah, I just can't think of her name right now. Great lady. But we did an interview and we were talking about that. We were talking about, because she was asking me my perspective on the difference between men and women. I understand a lot about, psychology and gender and just dynamics and gender, the way people think, just the mind in general, and a lot of people are predictable, in their behaviors. And Tony Robbins talks about that. There's certain patterns in people and behavior. And I think, but when it really comes down to it, we all truly want the same thing. Even though we're all different, we all want acknowledgement. I don't care who you are. Everybody wants to be acknowledged for something. Even the people who say they don't want to be acknowledged, they do.
Yeah, I love it. And I was just literally watching this series. I almost never watch TV, but I was with someone and we started watching this series, and it's from Canada. And this person's ex-wife, they're battling back and forth, right? And this person's ex-wife said, he's like, "What do you want? More money? What do you?" They're arguing back and forth on custody issues and all this stuff. And she said, "I want more respect.
Yeah.
I want you to acknowledge me. Well, you built your success. I was home taking care of your child. I was home taking care of your ironing, your food. That allowed you to focus on what it is you wanted to do. I just want respect and acknowledgement." He, on the other hand, was, everything was transactional. You want more money, you want more this, you want more that. I got to do this, I got to do that. It was strictly transitional. But for her, it was, I just want the acknowledgement. Just give me the respect that I contributed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what everybody wants. I think from deep down inside, again, back to perception, what we view or perceive through our judgments from the most heinous criminal down to the freaking Dalai Lama, right? In terms of extremes, right?
Someone might say up to the Dalai Lama,
right?
not down to the Dalai Lama.
So I like to say everybody has a bad day. And look, I have this philosophy and this mindset that I truly believe I've always had it ever since I was younger. And I've written it down. Like I said, I'm in the process of writing my book. It's been a long journey, and I really hope to get that done soon. I've been talking about that, and people say, Brenton, you need to put that book out. I was like, I know, it's a process. You know what I mean? It's like I think that's the killer in life, is when you're a perfectionist. That's one thing I wish I'd really like to be able to let go of, is being a perfectionist. But it has its qualities, right? If you're a perfectionist, you have something great, but it's better to just put it out, get the feedback later, just keep putting things out. But anyway, so I don't get too much off topic. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about. That happens from time to time. Yes. So in terms of perception, in terms of human beings judging people, the reason why we judge is because there's something in our life, there's a void. That very person or thing that we're judging, it's because that thing that we're judging, we don't have in our own life. Or we have too much of it and we're not taking responsibility, so we're putting it onto somebody else. So it's one or the other. So I've also learned, they fascinate me, because really deep down inside, we all want love, we all want appreciation, we all want acknowledgement, we all want understanding. We just want to know that somebody cares about us. And I think that, so when people are mean to people, or when they judge them, or they say hurtful things to them, what they're really are doing those things to themselves behind closed doors. And they'll never admit it or realize it. But once they do realize it, that's when their life will truly change. So that I do know 100% for sure. That's what we do.
I love it. And it really comes down to awareness. You need to be aware of who you are, what you're doing, what your triggers are, where they came from. And you need to start addressing them. And some of them came from a long time ago. And, once you can free yourself from that crap, then you can just move on to the future.
Absolutely.
Am I correct?
Yep, you are correct, Ron.
I love it. All right. So in closing, we've been here 46 minutes, and I love it. I hope people, listen to the whole thing, because I honestly feel like the last 15 minutes has been transformative. But
transformational, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but is there anything in closing? I'm going to put you on the full screen. Is there anything in closing that you would love to tell our listeners and viewers now and in the future, including any type of how to contact you, any,
Sure.
information, whatever?
Sure. All right. So in closing, I'd like to say this, everyone. Never give up or give in to the voice inside your head telling you to quit before your big win. Always just continuously keep moving through, no matter how much gets in your way. I know, as cheeky as that sounds, like you just eventually something has to give, right? Like things will happen for you. It's all about, and just step into that resilient power. Once you claim that power, then you will no longer be powerless, and you'll be able to do the things you do. Thank you. As of how to contact me, Brenton Tyler Hoffmann. I'm the only one in the world. You can Google me. But my website is brentontylerhoffman.com, and on the screen, as you can see, that's with 2 F's and 2 N's. I have to be clear on that, because a lot of people accidentally misspell it and put 1 N, and it's a very common mistake. And I've been dealing with that ever since freaking kindergarten, just my whole life. But brentontylerhoffman.com, and you could check it out. As of for my services, anybody who is listening in today, I will offer you a complimentary, no charge. We'll do a strategy session or a discovery session, figure out what's going on in your personal life or in your business, and see what we could do about helping you get to the next level.
I love it. But here's a little bit of advice. If you can get Brenton Tyler Hoffmann with 1 N at the end, I don't have my glasses on, but so let's say you get 1 N at the end instead of 2, maybe even get 3. So, get that
Yeah,
URL.
I thought about that. Yes.
No, definitely do it. And then just forward it to the two.
You just
It
cut
goes
out.
to
Great.
anyhow. If somebody types in 3 because they got that fat finger mistake,
Yeah, true.
to you, right?
Yeah. Back to the misspelling keywords. Yes, absolutely.
Talk about it, brother, man. Be about it, right? So, people, I've been dealing with it forever. Well, get the one with the one, because I can't believe there's too many Brenton, Tyler Hoffmans with one N. So
No. The Brenton Tyler Hoffman. I've not Brenton Tyler Hoffman with one N. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
If you don't want to get juiced when you get off this call, go and buy it. Otherwise, somebody who saw this is going to go buy it, and then they're going to charge you to get it. Okay? So
I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Get it now. Get it in the next like 20 minutes. So get that URL, and then you can just forward it to your.
Well, you know what I don't understand. I find it fascinating, is why they spell it with one N when you can clearly see there's two N's on it. I know it's an easily misspelled.
Nobody sees that. You see that because you know it. Me, I see Hoffman, M-A-N. I'm done. M-A-N.
Yeah.
What have I got to put on my glasses to see that?
For sure, man.
That,
totally.
So you got to understand your audience. What are they looking for? How do they perceive things? So, at the end of the day, it's never, ever about you or what you perceive or what you think. It's all about them. So no one is seeing two ends. Everyone is seeing one end. So you've got to get that URL before someone else gets it and juices the heck out of you. And then
done, brother, done. Cool.
Brother, it's going to cost you $12 a year, right? And then you just redirect it. So when someone types it in, poof, they end up at the two ends.
Yeah, got it.
I'd get the one with the three ends too, because they might just hit it by mistake.
Get the one with the three ends. Yeah, for sure. I should just get a bunch of my name and different misspellings. See, no, that's a great idea. And I do practice what I preach. I was just more focused on looking for other businesses with misspelling at the time. I wasn't looking at my own name, but again, right, we all do that. So for sure, man. Thanks for the advice, and I will do it for sure.
I love it, and thank you so much for being here. I'm just going to close this out.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Ron.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. This has been amazing, and I hope you listen. The whole interview was great, but the last like 15, 20 minutes was really insightful and educational. So I hope you really tune in. You'll listen to the whole thing, because Brenton Tyler Hoffman, with two ends, not one end, he has so much to offer. However, if you type in one end, it's going to get redirected to the two end, but please wait 15 minutes because we're about to buy that for him. Okay. So,
right. And one more thing before I go, because I know it's been a long show, and thank you. You guys can check me out too on Harmonic Consulting on Facebook, and you could see my testimonials on BrentonTylerHoffman.com. It's all there as well too. I have other links on itsmyurls.com. It's just called itsmyurls, right? .com/Brenton Tyler. And you can check out my stuff there. But my stuff's really easy to navigate on my Facebook page. You can check it out. The reason why I mention that is because you could actually see the testimonials. And I have testimonials from people who are actually on this show. So I got a review or a testimonial from Tucker Bearden, and so
you've been amazing, and people really need to listen to this show. And
thank you.
There's going to be a lot of links in the description, and connect with you. So thank you, everybody. Again, this is Ron Couming coming to you from Success Secrets Revealed. You need to listen and follow Brenton Tyler Hoffman with two N's, and he's amazing. He's overcome so much. Medically, business-wise, he's a 2-time best-selling author. You need to reach out to him and connect. Again, our sponsor is RCS Online Solutions. We help business owners and entrepreneurs much like you attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients to achieve great success. At the end of the day, you can have the best websites, the best message, the best service, the best product, but if people can't find you, they can't even consider you, right? So let's just keep it real. Love yous all. Hope you have a great day.